Welcome in to the 5 to 9 podcast. We've got the special graphics this time. Huge upgrade for episode 9. But welcome in. You know, trying to make your 9 to 5 feel a little bit more like a 5 to 9. Something to kick us right off was, I think it was announced or reported just about 30 minutes ago, but the SEC joins the Big 10 in banning pro players. Obviously, that means something to LSU specifically.
Well, I didn't even know this.
Yeah. So the SEC joined the Big 10. Breaking news on the 5 to 9.
Wait, they didn't join the Big 10.
Well, sorry, they joined the Big 10 in banning the. Yeah, it's one big mega conference now. No, but so obviously that means apparently the vote was 16-0, which is interesting because obviously I feel like the whole story was.
It wasn't like some stupid school like Mississippi State just voting, weighing down everything.
I thought LSU might be.
Not even LSU.
Oh, true.
That's exactly because they had that Daquan Wright guy who was an undrafted free agent, signed with the Eagles. We cut him.
And they got someone else today,
Browns. Dude. Yeah. So the Big
Does that include basketball? Because R.J. Lewis just signed from the Celtics to LSU.
I think it's just football.
Let me pull it up because I think it's
because it's funny enough, like that LSU was also the team in basketball that was doing the same thing. Like they were the problem school, even though that's not Lane Kiffin. Like they were also the school with Will Wade that was doing all the tampering. So they're just tampering you. But
so the SEC to ban pro athletes. Conference follows Big 10 blocking NFL players and adds on NBA and WNBA. So it sounds like the Big 10 is only the NFL, but the SEC is the NFL, the NBA, and the WNBA.
Bro, what WNBA player is trying to go back to college?
Ennis Cantor, he can't go back to college.
Cantor.
Oh, well, I thought he was trying to go to the WNBA, not college.
He is.
White or whatever his name is.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought LSU would, going back to the football thing, I thought they would be the ones to vote against it. But maybe that's just a Lane Kiffin thing. He wants the players because whatever AD or team or president for the school obviously voted to ban them. So I think that's the right decision. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's
sure. Pro players going back is like the dumbest thing ever.
I think if you declare, even if you declare for the draft, like I know the NBA is a little bit like gray area where it's like you can declare but still go back to college as long as you like maybe weren't drafted or whatever that guideline is.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you declare like you're done, like you can't go back to college, I feel like it would be like a solid baseline. Because even something like, and it's funny because in like our hockey league that I work for, like a kid played for Adrian for 3 years, which is a college in Michigan, and then he forgoed his senior year to come get signed by us. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, I am sure that we like didn't sign him for the full season. Like it was a training camp contract. But I don't think he went back to college. But then again, we had players play like the latter half of a season and then go back to college after that. So even in like smaller leagues, the line is just like so grayed as to, you know, this guy could do it, but this guy couldn't. So, I mean, I think it's probably for the better that the 16-0 bet or 16-0 vote went through.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the WNBA, we've been having a lot of gray area conversations in that league, but I think the gray area conversations in this one may be more obvious. Like, I mean, it's crazy world we live in 2026 where we have to say and make votes on if NFL players should return to college. Like, I mean, that's just been an obvious no-no since the beginning of time. But it's obviously the right decision. There's no reason because again, even if let's just, you know, to play devil's advocate, let's say that it was allowed. Fuck it. We just allow NFL players to come back. Again, the only thing that's going to do is create obviously even a further gap between between the SEC Big 10 schools and the rest of the teams that NIL has already created. Like, while it would be fun, let's get, you know, I don't know, Daquan Wright to go play for Ball State. Like, you know, he would probably put up 2,000 yards for Ball State. That'd be pretty fun. But like, obviously he's not going to go there. If there's anyone even in that situation, like as we saw with a few of the players that trickled out before the rulings today and yesterday, they're just going back to Big 10 SEC. So, it's obviously the right decision.
Yeah. Todd, you're eating, so I'll say something real quick while you finish what you're chewing in your mouth there. But
why don't you tell us what we're eating tonight? What's the food?
What are we munching on?
Why don't we guess? What do we think?
I don't
You
know.
had a
You
bowl.
probably some
Is it
poop.
some sort of pasta?
So poop and pasta, two P's. Well, I actually have poop pasta.
Mix them.
So
Yeah, I was
Oh
saying
my
mix them
God.
together.
no, it's orange chicken and rice.
Okay.
Okay.
From
valid.
Panda.
Oh, from Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay.
Trader Joe's is banging, man.
That's it.
Yeah,
Trader
good
Joe's is
stuff.
so good.
I can
good
respect
stuff.
that.
I haven't had a single
yum,
thing
yum,
from
yum.
Trader Joe's I didn't like. Everything from Trader Joe's just smacks.
Yeah,
I'm rocking with TJ's.
Amen.
I'm a Lidl man.
Lidl, man,
A
dude,
what?
you're such
There's
a
a Lidl.
European,
There's a Lidl right next to me
I've never heard of this place
in New
before.
York.
dude. It's the same thing as Aldi,
LIDL.
pretty much.
L-I-D-L.
Yeah, they got a fresh bakery. They got some good bread.
Yeah, they know how to do
Alright.
things.
They got what you need. What were you gonna say, Tommy? Before I interrupted you with my feast.
Talking about thinking it was the right choice for the vote. Oh, I always thought that it was, or I thought that it was interesting that obviously it's guys that are UDFAs or like borderline. Like you don't see, and obviously, you know, it makes sense, but what's stopping, who was a first round pick this year? Or who was stopping Jahad Campbell last year?
Yeah.
He was drafted this year, just going back to Bama. Who's stopping even a guy like Justin Jefferson after his rookie year going back? Like, obviously, these are past players.
Yeah.
So the line was not exactly where it is in
Well,
present
also,
day. But
it's kind of like a re-roll. Like you could theoretically, if that was a rule, be like, you know, if you're Jihad and let's say you get taken by the Browns. Okay, fine. Fuck it. I don't want to go play for the Browns. Let me have college have a bidding war over me. I'll make more than I would make in my rookie year. And again, we already see some of that now with players, you know, choosing to forego the draft, stay another year, trying to get more NIL money. But you could take it a step further, literally get drafted, be like, I don't want to play for this team. This situation sucks. This team is the Browns. This team is, I don't know, the Falcons in 2026. Like, let me just go back to college, mind my time there, and let's see who's picking in the top 5 next year.
what I think is crazy about that point is that not only in football with Drew Brees, with Phillip Rivers being like, I don't want to play for those guys and getting traded. Well, I guess Drew Brees not necessarily did that, but Eli Manning, I think, is the one who I was trying to think of that did that.
Yeah.
But even like in the NHL for the Flyers, Cutter Gauthier got drafted. He didn't want to play for the Flyers, so they traded him to the Ducks. Like that's a little bit more recent than like Eli. So it's just like why was that the case then? But now with this new generation coming up, and obviously the world's different from when Eli got drafted. Not that that was decades ago, but
Yeah.
it was a while ago. Actually, it probably was close to a decades ago. Anyways, it's like why is that not still the case? Like why don't you take? And again, maybe it's because it's undrafted free agents. I'm not going to trade an undrafted free agent. I'll probably get a firm handshake from the other team. But it's like I don't know. It's such a gray line that I could just ramble on about that. It feels like the only right answer is to just make it not so gray anymore.
I want to see Brandon Ayuk go to like Tulane.
That
See
would
what
be
he can
funny.
do.
Yeah.
See if he can perform.
I mean, Tulane, you just have to get to the 50-yard line. Or especially if you went to like an indoor team. I mean, if he goes to Syracuse, they got the indoor stadium. I mean, he's set up. He's going to set every single record possible.
I thought you were talking indoor football. I was like, Tulsa will take
Oh,
Brandon
yeah.
Ayuk, man.
Well,
That'd
I
be
was going to
kinda
get
cool.
into that point as well. Actually, let me draft real quick. I actually just took Caleb Williams. I'm doing a draft right now as we do.
Bro, you
this
gotta
multicasting.
explain to the people the draft you're doing right now.
I'm
That's
doing
hilarious.
every year. The first draft I always do with my family. We've been doing it for 10 years. It's like me, my dad, brother, couple uncles, and it's essentially a massive running joke because it's a 6-man draft. We all chuck in $50, 6 people, and your team is just absolutely loaded. The picks fly by. The draft started at 8 o'clock. It's 8:30 as we film this right now, and we are currently in round 12. But my team, like for example, you know, it's a little bit of a change of pace. But to give you kind of a feel for my first 4-round picks, I got Gibbs, JSN, Cook, and Trey McBride. So the team's looking pretty all right, and I just took Caleb as my QB.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Too many fantasy leagues.
it's
Oh, we
I
already
mean,
had that whole conversation.
Yeah,
yeah, we
it
had that
was,
one last. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a good way to kick it off because every draft just gets instantly harder. Like by round 3 of our 16-man draft, I'm taking players I'm taking in round 8 of this
And
one.
he's
But it's a
gone.
good way to kind of
He's gone.
introduce yourself to the players, get familiar with them. Oh shit! I just
You're
You
back.
glitched for like a second, but you're back.
Well, I wasn't making any good points.
Just speaking out of your ass.
Yeah, I'm just rambling out of my ass, but you kick off the season. Y'all done any drafts yet?
No,
No,
I'm only
haven't
in
even looked
2
at anything.
leagues, and I'm in my first one is this Sunday, and the next one for our league is Monday. So
Okay.
those are the 2 that I got, and then my office does like a we do a
Our
one and
draft is
done.
Monday.
Yeah, our draft's Monday at 8, August 31st. We do a
Alright.
one and done. Have you guys heard of the one and dones before?
Oh yeah.
So it's basically like you pick a team week 1, and then you can not use those guys again for the rest of the season. So like towards
Yeah.
the end of the year, you're having, Hollywood Brown is your wide receiver
Yeah.
1, which it's like
Isn't
it's kinda
Hollywood
fun.
on the Eagles this year?
He is. That's the
I was
only
gonna say
reason
that's
I thought
that's
of him.
where he had to have come from. I thought he
Yeah.
went to y'all.
Dude, I can't. What the fuck? Our draft is at 8 p.m. on fucking Monday?
Dude, Vandy has said that like 3 times in the group chat.
Oh god, we're having draft difficulties before we even get started.
It's cooked.
The fuck kind of. Who the fuck puts a draft on a Monday?
Monday's
He
just
said
bad
that, like,
vibes,
3
dude.
times.
Well, it doesn't
That's
matter. You can just
terrible.
set your guys on auto. Your team's gonna read out
Dude,
Caleb
I'm not-
Williams,
I
Luther
don't-
Burden, Roma Dunze.
Just pick the
That's
players.
just stupid.
Dude,
a bunch
it's
of
gonna be a
bums
battle
tonight.
between me and you for who actually gets Caleb Williams because I want him bad, and you're,
I'm not gonna
I
reach
know
on
you're
anyone.
gonna reach for him in like the 3rd round.
I don't reach.
He's not gonna be a reach because he's gonna be a top 3 MVP candidate this year.
He really could win the MVP, especially because we're gonna have to score 40 points a game to win.
Yeah,
True.
definitely.
But I don't think I'm not a reacher in fantasy. I'm a much more go with the flow type of fantasy player. Especially because I'm in a 16-man league and an 18-man league. You can't really prep too much for those.
Yeah.
Like even the mock drafts where it's like you get through 2 rounds and you just quit.
You're just done.
It's like I'm tired. It's been 30
8
minutes.
people are
like,
auto picking.
Yeah, it's like get a load of this guy.
Yeah. It does serve as a good transition. We were mainly going to get into some NFL. Finally, feels like we've been talking about other sports, beating around the bush. We did a little bit in NFL in last episode, but it's finally time to just go full steam ahead towards the NFL. I think we got nothing but NFL to talk about today.
Yeah, let's
What about
bring
the
in
PGA Championship?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, all right.
Let's touch on that. Let's touch on that.
I'll give my 2 cents on that. All right, so big news did come out of the PGA today. New format as we approach this year's
Oh yeah,
Tour
this one's
Championship.
sick.
Yeah, new format's sick. PGA essentially listened like it's imagine you had the World Cup in the group stage with the teams of 4, 2 advance in the old format before they made it 3. But World Cup meets March Madness meets match play. It's pretty much anything you could ever ask for. Essentially, and to put it as simply as I can, you're going to have, pods of 4 teams just like you would for the World Cup. They're going to compete in match play. The best 2 out of those 4 will move on. Once you get then it's a 32-man bracket of match play where you're just playing each other each day. The 32 is playing the 1. The 16 is playing the 17. Then you move on. You could get the 24 seed going on a run and playing Scotty Scheffler, the 1 seed, and then eventually you go until it's a one-on-one matchup on Sunday on the finale to decide the champion, one-on-one match play. So I think it's perfect. Players and fans have been asking for match play for a while. It's done really well on YouTube and in other formats. Yet the PGA really has one event that does that the entire season. So that's a really fun change. More details to come on that. That won't be till 2028. But there's been really positive feedback so far. And that releases ahead of this week, which is the Tour Championship under the current format. final 30 players, the best 30 players of the season who have made it, will have a chance to duke it all out. It used to be a starting stroke tournament, whereas, for example, Scotty Scheffler, number one player, would start at 10 under, which is just a ridiculous advantage. I get you need to have some advantage from, playing so well throughout the season, but I don't know. There's all arguments, and that's why they switched. But top 30 players this week going on, and
nice reaction.
Should be a good one. I know. I don't know where the flying emoji came from on the screen. Emoji. But
so is there not there's a couple years obviously until the match play, and the match play is only for like the actual PGA playoffs, right?
Yes. So
they're not do they not have any chance or any plan to like debut it in like the John Deere Classic, like something random just to like test it out like sooner?
And that's
obviously it sounds like it's going to work, but
yeah. And so that's some of the stuff that's still up in the air right now. It hasn't been decided. Like they're kind of, again, it's not happening until 2028, and a lot of the stuff is not even figured out. Like, for example, like Rory gave a press conference today being asked about it, and he was like, yeah, I was just told, I just found out about this new change last week, and he's one of the main people involved with the committee. So all of it's actively still being figured out. They know kind of the bones of how things are going to look, but they haven't figured out a lot of the details. But they did say in the original press conference or release of this information back in June that there would be specifically more match play involved. And so, yeah, there's definitely a really good chance that match play will be involved in something like the John Deere, because I think people want to see that. Like, this is a good step, and I think it makes sense to kind of make this final playoff something separate, its own entity, and add excitement to it, which it's been kind of lacking. Like, this is the Tour Championship. The winner gets $10 million. It's supposed to be this big thing. It's not even as big as the Players, which is just an elevated normal tournament that just has taken on a life of its own. But I think just adding in little elements and fun twists, as well as new venues, as I've talked about in the past, it's all good for the league. And I've liked everything they've done so far. And this was another good step, I thought.
As an outsider looking into the golf world, it genuinely looks like this is the biggest improvement any major U.S. sport has made in the longest time. The only other thing that comes to mind, I actually like the new kickoff rule in the NFL. I think that's
I do like that too.
I don't mind it.
It's not like a huge improvement, but what they're doing in the PGA, they're completely reshaping the league.
Yeah.
And it's going to make for some of the most exciting golf tournaments. The viewership is you're going to see players like Scotty and Rory match up for some of the most prestigious trophies in golf, one-on-one. It's going to be so exciting to watch. It's going to elevate golf to a new level. I really think that.
How do you feel about it, Tommy?
Yeah, no, I definitely think Todd makes a great point. There's also like maybe part of it is kind of what he said. Like there hasn't been any huge changes in like the big four in American sports, and for this to not only be as big as it is, but to sound as cool as it is to even people that aren't super into the golf world, like Todd says. I mean, I can't imagine that it's not going to do well, and at the very least, even if for some reason it tanked, there's going to be a peak at the start for people to tune in just to see what the hell's going on, I feel like.
And especially for a sport like golf where it's so rooted in tradition, to see how everyone is so accepting and excited for this new idea shows how good of an idea it really is. Because most of these other leagues are either, trust me, tradition is very important to maintain, but most of the other leagues will be too coward to make a change or make the wrong change like consistently. They'll keep on making steps in the wrong direction, while this looks like it's going to really just change the game completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just y'all two saying that, and it's easy for me to sit here and say that as someone who religiously is involved with golf and everything around the sport. But if y'all are sitting here and reacting positively to that, think about how many other people saw the post on whatever platform today and is like, oh, this is pretty cool. I would tune into this. And especially it's going to be interesting to watch that they do it the week of the old format this week, because I think I'm going to be watching the tournament this week and be just looking forward, salivating, towards what potentially is down the future, because I think it's going to be night and day better than what we have. But no, I think, on a serious note, the fact that they're actually like listening to what the fans want, like, and some leagues are kind of landlocked. Like, it's hard for the NFL to make significant changes. There's just so much money and, viewership and everything involved and tied up into it. But I do think that golf's at a good, and specifically the PGA, a good, level right now to kind of make that big decision. Like, they're not too landlocked to anything, and I think this is going to help with viewership a lot. It's what I've been asking for, and I think it's going to help bring a lot more eyes into the game.
Yeah, for
Just
sure. And
jumping off of that, do you think what are like, if you could make one change to another league that you think would improve it, what do you think that could be?
Allow betting on the Little League World Series.
I mean, you can find your way around that.
You can find your way. So if you know, you know.
Man, that's a great question.
I think I would want to change something with the NBA, because like I feel like the NBA currently is the league that I have the most gripes over. Like, I think the obvious answer is to say, like, shorten the regular season schedule. Like, I mean, there just does not need to be 82 fucking games, but I don't want to mess with history and historical stuff either.
Yeah, that would like change all the
I know
records and stuff like that.
I wouldn't necessarily mind
some
like
way
a
to
playoff
stop all the
series
foul
getting
baiting.
shortened.
What'd you say?
Foul baiting, yeah.
Some way if they could stop the foul baiting. I mean, it just like ruins the game. No one enjoys watching it.
Yeah.
No one wants to see these guys go to the line. They're trying out the one free throw thing in the G League where one free throw is worth all the points of the free throw you're taking. I think they've done that. They did that in the Summer League this year. But watching my guy Caleb Wilson just miss repeated free throws, it's like you're losing like 10 points if you miss 5 free throws. So,
and I do think it takes like like I don't like the NBA is. It doesn't mean you have to massively overhaul. Like we just mentioned, the PGA, they're doing a massive overhaul. In their case, that was maybe needed to get more eyes. But for leagues that already have it, that are just getting complaints, like the NBA, it just takes a small rule change. Like, for example, think about how much the MLB has changed after the pitch clock rule. Like, again, like games, just because games are about, on average, like 40, 45 minutes to up to an hour shorter, how much they've been able to kind of increase in terms of viewership, at least from when once they implemented the rule. And that's just a small thing. Like, all we're doing is just adding a clock. You have 30 seconds in between pitches. You can't stop and pick your nose and pick your butt and, rub in the dirt 5 times before each pitch. Like, and it was just one small tweak. Like, I think if they were able to do something with the foul baiting, that tweak would save so much. I think specifically the area I have a lot of issues with is in the final 2 minutes of games, in slowing down the pace and the action of those final 2 minutes. Like, there's nothing worse than when you're in a close game and you're slowed down by, 5 commercial breaks, with 3 reviews that are 5 minutes long. Like, if there was a way even to just limit the amount of, reviews or just review time. Like, you got, like, the refs huddle up. All right, you get one shot of this live action in a review. You have 30 seconds, make a decision. Even if we put it in a little mini box to the side, do the commercial on the right. Like, it's just too much time to get through the final 2 minutes, and it breaks up the game flow. So something with that in the foul baiting is kind of where I would land.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. The only thing that I could think of, honestly, because you said shorten the regular season, is maybe do like an MLB format postseason. Obviously the play-in is like winning in. Well, obviously you have to play 2, but whatever. It's not like it's a series, but after that it becomes a series, and I'd be curious to see how like the first round would go if it was a best of 3 or even like a best of 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought they did that.
They used to do it way in the past.
Yeah.
I thought they like did that this season.
Nah,
I don't think
it's
so.
just all the games. I can't remember a single thing that really happened in the first round, other than the Hawks at one point had a lead on the Knicks.
Yeah, because Sixers Celtics went to 7 in the first round.
I forgot that was a first round series. Yeah, yep. Never mind. Well, that happened. That was cool.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good one. That's probably one of the ones that if it did change, you'd be like, oh, we don't get
There's
7
just
games of that.
I think that, and there's 15 million rabbit holes I could go down with this, but I think the NBA just in and of itself leads to natural problems. Just, like with the fact that there's only so many players on a team, like it's hard to, you can set yourself up for failure. Like tanking has obviously been a big issue and a big talking point in the NBA. You can set yourself up for failure in the NFL, like the Dolphins are going to do. But like, as a team of 52 players, it's hard in an actual game to tank. Basketball, you can do things like the Jazz did, taking up players, minute restrictions for certain guys. It's just natural, like when you only have 5 players on a court and 13, 14 players on a team, that, it's going to be a little bit less parity, and it's going to be harder to and when you spread it out over 82 games instead of 17. So the NBA is just always going to have, I think, issues, and it's just if they can minimize them.
Yeah. I would say
but
like you're probably right in terms of that being like that's a league that my mind went to first when Todd asked what would you change, because obviously there's something to change somewhere that somebody complains about in almost every sport. But the NBA, it's like always at the forefront of not just like the media's minds, but like fans' minds too. I mean, I think you made a great point with the 2 minutes. Like I don't watch the final 2 minutes of like a close game if it's not the Sixers recently, because it's literally, like you said, I mean, commercial break and then review and then commercial break and then there's a foul bait and the last minute is just this team's within 5, so if we keep fouling, there's a chance that, and it's like it's hard not
to pull your phone out and then, oh shit, they came immediately back from a minute-long FanDuel commercial right into the inbound, and oh shit, you look up from your phone and someone just splashed a 3.
Right. Yeah.
But one sport that I don't have complaints about is natural transition, by the way, is the NFL. And one sport I would not want them to change is the NFL schedule and making it 18 games. Keep it at 17. But I think we should hit some NFL.
Goodell is such a greedy bastard. He's such a greedy little fuck. He's so grimy. I don't like him.
He is a little gremlin. He also Goodell, like, there's a lot of people you could put in this category. We could do a whole draft on punchable faces. Like, I think Goodell is inarguably a top 5 punchable face.
He looks like he should have been like a villain in the Smurfs movie.
Like a dumb villain. Not a villain in like a James Bond movie, like in a or Trolls 2. Like that's where he should be the villain.
Yeah, like he's just so his face. He wants to put a team in like Europe. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
go fuck yourself.
That's what we want, dude. Everyone's just been asking for NFL games in London.
We need a team in Paris.
Man. I think this is the new. How many games are in Europe this year? I think it's like 16.
There's a lot.
16 in Europe. I mean, there's got to be some in like Brazil and then some.
In international games. How many NFL games? International.
16 seems.
There's going to be a record 9 NFL games played outside the United States.
I exaggerated a little bit, but 9 is about 8 too many.
There should be one.
Let's be like the NBA. NBA's got the one game in Paris. It's on like a 1 o'clock on a Wednesday each year. Let's just do that, dude. Let's get 1, maybe 2,
and let's make it at like some bummy teams, so I don't really have to wait.
Yeah, you don't gotta pay attention.
Like, so we don't get a situation last year where it was that Jets Broncos game where it was like 12-9, and it was the worst thing I've ever watched.
No, that's fine. I'm saying keep the bad games in Europe.
So you don't gotta watch.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna be at 6 a.m., I'm gonna place my parlay at night.
Yeah, the Eagles go to London that I have to wake up for in like week 5.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, and now it sucks too because the Jags are actually good. And before they would, they would exist over there as the shitty team and get like multiple games in London, but now they're actually worth watching. And so now you actually have to tune into those games. It's not just like, for example, this year Jags Titans could be pretty decent if Cam Ward's all right.
Right.
Yeah, maybe Titans not the best example. Jags Texans.
That's a little
that would be a good game. That would be a good game. Texans are going to be dirty again this year. I think they could.
Their defense, at least. We all know who it hinges on.
I don't think he's good, but I think he can perform at least in the regular season to make their I think they could be like one of those teams that just like the Steelers and what was it like with Chase Claypool in like 2021 where it's just like, how is this team 11-0 right now?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like they just haven't lost. I could see the Texans being that team this year.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were last year, and like they really like, and the thing is, like, for as much shit CJ Stroud took last year, like they somehow ended up like 11-5, won a playoff game, for the third straight year.
Such a good receiving core.
Yeah. And Tank Dell should be back. I mean, at least for, he'll be back for 4 games.
R.I.P. Jaden Higgins, though.
Again, but
that's frustrating for them.
Yeah,
Wait, he's out?
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Jaden Higgins.
What about, is Tutu Atwell? Is he on the Texans still?
He's on the Rams.
And he, I believe, went to the Dolphins. He's like wide receiver.
He got a decent. Yeah.
He's wide receiver 2 for the Dolphins this year. Tutu Atwell.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I meant Tank Dell.
Oh yeah,
he's back from injury, at least for now.
He's back from
they just got Butte. They just got.
Yeah, they did get Butte.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Speaking of,
Xavier Hutchinson, he's pretty good.
I don't know how I feel about that trade as residence Pats fan. I mean, like, it's crazy how we were just having an argument about our wide receiver room and depth the other day, and then they immediately go trade Butte to make my argument a lot worse. It just, I don't know, it sucks. I thought that he was probably, other than Diggs, and Diggs was only on the field about 50% of snaps last year, I thought Butte made some really good strides and improvement, and people forget he was a monster at LSU. I can't remember if it was it injuries or was it, he was the gambling. His gambling case at LSU, I believe, dropped him into like a day 3 pick. Kind of not too dissimilar to how Luther Burden in because he was kind of mid in his final year at Mizzou, dropped from.
And Luther Burden wasn't even that bad. He was going into the season, he was.
That's even weirder.
Supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver in that class. He was like the Mizzou's, and I remember him mossing us when we were playing him, just absolutely catching one over. I don't know who was playing cornerback at the time. Just watching another guy dive out of bounds while he jukes, and then he dances into the end zone. Thank God Rocket Sanders is able to pile his way into the end zone for us to have
I know.
maybe my favorite game at
that 2024 season was awesome. That game was
that game sneaky, one of my favorites.
One of the loudest I've ever heard the stadium. Maybe the.
Yeah, it registered an earthquake in the area when he got in the end zone. It was insane.
But
we love Rocket Sanders here.
I know.
Is he on a team? Is he alive?
People forget that Rocket Sanders scored the first touchdown of the Browns season last year. He scored.
He's with the Browns.
Wait, I remember that.
Because people were pissed because everyone had all their different first touchdown bets, and then Rocket Sanders, he was like the highest odds of any.
Did anyone have that ticket?
I don't think so.
Tickets?
I don't think so.
No. Oh, absolutely not. We've had a couple of who's the tight end for the Broncos? Nick Muse or Nick for Vikings.
Nate Atkins,
everywhere.
Nate Atkins. Not
Nate Atkins.
Nick Muse was on the Vikings.
Yeah. I confused the 4th string tight ends from South Carolina.
Are we gonna get a season long Diggles or 5 to 9 parlay for like maybe a prize picks or something? Or
that's not even a question.
Sleeper.
We should definitely rip
that could be next episode. We come back, do some research
for episode 10.
Get a little trifecta. We could do a 6-legger, each do 2.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's season long, I don't like to do anything less than 6 legs. If it's
5 or 6 for sure.
Right,
I'm trying to think about last year.
We combined one.
That was 1 leg off. It was because fucking Baker Mayfield.
Oh yeah.
Just could not get a 300-yard passing game.
We both missed. We were so confident.
I needed him to get like 3 or 4.
I think his line was 3.5 300-yard games. He had like 7 the year before, and he had like 2 last year.
Yeah.
It was gross.
He's on my. I don't like him anymore because of that.
Yeah.
Really
and that was one of my.
I don't like Baker.
That was one of my I don't know what divisions we want to kind of get into, but one team I feel like is people talk a lot about going into the season about teams that have something to prove, teams that are, have a lot of pressure this year. Like, I feel like a team that doesn't get talked about as maybe having something to prove just because they get kind of lost in the shuffle is the Buccaneers. Like, the fact of the matter is that for the past 4 years in a row, they've had between 8 and 10 wins. They've been mid for 4 straight years, and they haven't jumped up to a bottom level to get into a good pick, and they have not jumped up since Brady to go up towards the top pick. Baker's had some good regular season stuff. He's been a fun story, but last year they started off whatever they were, 5-1, 5-2, then limped to an 8-9 finish, and again ended between that 8 and 10. I feel like they're sneaky, a team where it may not be pressure. Like no one expects them to win the Super Bowl, but it's like, can you show me something, or what? Are you guys just going to be mid and go 9-8 and be a little bit fun to watch
in a weak
games?
Division too?
Yeah,
I feel like it would be different if they were in a stacked NFC West.
Yeah,
that's why I think we should stick to what we said. Jackson said he's has random knowledge on the NFC West. Obviously, my birds.
For some reason, the
South
NFC
and the
West,
East, and then Todd's NFC South. But let's get it. Let's get the stinker swim going here. Stinker swim for the
stinker
for the
swim
season.
Debut with graphics.
Huge.
Stinky.
All right. Who wants to go first? So we just go game by game or team by team?
Well,
what are we
let's
thinking?
find their totals. Let's find their totals for the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what we think. We can go game by game.
Well, let's look at the win totals, and then we'll
look at the win totals.
Let's start with the NFC West, just because.
Yeah.
Oh, you said NFC West. Yeah. We'll
okay. Yeah. Start us off, Diggs.
Because I feel like NFC West is a good division to start with, because you have not only last year's Super Bowl winner, you have a team that could be competing for a bottom 3 pick or a top 3 pick, and you have a team that's the favorite for the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of different things and ways it could go with Seahawks, Rams, and then Niners. Maybe the funniest offseason aside from they could have just got one-upped by the Jets owner, but other than that.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah. So should we start? We should start with the dog shit first. Start with the cards.
Yeah. Go bottom to top.
What's so let's get a win total on the Cardinals. My guess would be it's 4.5 or 3.5. There's no way it's.
You were looking at 3.5 or 4.5. That's correct.
Okay. So we'll do 4. We'll put 4 right here.
We'll do exactly 4.
Yeah. So and then the Niners and the Seahawks both are 10.5, and the Rams are 11.5. So it is loaded at the top. I mean, division odds plus 100 division odds for the Rams, plus 205 for the Seahawks, 305 for the Niners, and then the poopy Cardinals are plus 10,000.
I mean, there's definitely one that auto sticks out for an under. But I'll get to that team when we talk about it. I think we should just talk about the Cardinals first, get them out of the way, because they're, if we want to talk about stink or swim, they're the stinkiest team maybe ever, especially defensively. That team is going to allow 50 points per game.
Yeah, there's really nothing good to look at. I mean, they released Trey Benson, who had probably the only good running back games for them. I mean, maybe Bam Knight had a few, but he's gone. Marvin Harrison Jr., God knows what's going on with him. He was supposed to be unbelievable. I think Carson Beck could be a serviceable quarterback, but him and Jacoby Brissett are going to be sacked, maybe the NFL record between the two of them. I mean, they're missing so many pieces, and it shocks me that Budda Baker has not been traded or asked to be traded. Respect, I guess, for being loyal, but he is the only name that comes to mind off the top of my head, other than Josh Sweat, just because he's a former Eagle and won a Super Bowl with them. For them to be any sort of notable player on the defensive side of things.
I mean, I wrote down a couple quibs for each team, just like short notes. For Cardinals, I wrote down should be gunning for a top 3 pick, could be a fun offense, get Carson Beck and Jeremiah Love reps. And a fun, fun fantasy offense, and one of the worst defenses of the 2020s is what I wrote down for the Cardinals. So a little bit all over the board there, but like you said, we don't know what we have with Love. He's looked solid enough in preseason, especially that Hall of Fame game. But, I think that they all know, everyone knows that Brissett is not the long-term guy. You're not going to go win a Super Bowl with Brissett. If you look back, he's a bridge quarterback. That's simply what it is. It's to get from this year to next year until you're in the draft, or maybe you have something with Beck and that changes things.
I like Beck. I think Beck is
yeah.
I think he could be something. He's kind of been looked down upon for like the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
And he's
especially social media
pretty good. Yeah, he stayed pretty good. It was just because he got dumped by a Cavender. That just like didn't help his whole situation.
And he got robbed.
Oh yeah.
He got robbed?
Yeah, he got robbed within like a week of transferring to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not for nothing, like in the teams and the rosters that those teams had, but it's not for nothing that he was the quarterback in his final 2 years of college for 2 playoff teams in Georgia, and then took Miami to the national championship game, and competed pretty well against a team that knocked the doors off of everyone for the entire season. He's got the specs. He's 6'5", I believe. Has a good height and weight. He's got an NFL body, and this was a dude that a year or 2 years ago was looked at very squarely as a first round talent. And through a bunch of different situations, ended up falling. So I think there's no reason not to at least try and see what you have with him. And it'll be made a lot easier. Last year, Brissett actually played his frickin' ass off, at least on offense. It was easy to do when he was throwing 50, 60 passes a game. But, it's hard to repeat that. I see a scenario where Brissett is just okay through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Maybe he gets an injury. Maybe they start out 0-5, and they're like, all right, we're just going to switch the QB. Let's see what Beck can do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing for them in terms of their future. But I guess there's not really much else to talk about when it comes to that team, especially in, again, an NFC West division that 3 teams are separated by 1 game in their win total. Yeah. Obviously, 2 of those being tied at 10.5. And the 49ers are such a confusing team to me. Obviously, you're mentioning the offseason. They've had so many injuries, not necessarily all of them long-term. Or anything like that, but that's kind of been at least a good laugh with the whole plant next to him and whatnot. Yeah. But having the same over-under win total as the reigning Super Bowl champions, and obviously the Rams, I think they deserve.
What'd
to
you
have
say
that
Niners
game.
was 9.5 or 10.5?
10.5. So 10.5 for the Niners and the Seahawks. They're tied with the Super Bowl champions. I think that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, I feel like every year you look at the Niners on paper, and they're like they could get to 11 wins, right? But
did we get a record out there for the Cardinals?
Yeah, we should do that as well.
Yeah, we could step back there. I mean, 3.5 or 4.5 is their win total.
Let's just put what we think the record will be.
I mean, they're a big time stink. They're mega stink. I'm putting 3 wins, 4 wins.
3-14.
I think that's a good line, honestly. 3.5.
That's a great line, in my opinion.
I would say 3-14 is probably pretty likely.
Okay, I think 2-15. I think they're going to be really bad.
Yeah,
I'll go towards
thinking on that win total.
I'll go towards the higher end. I think that their offense is good enough where maybe they can knock off some shitty games, or just because the Cardinals don't really get a lot of nice things. I'll go 4 wins, and I don't think they get the number 1 pick. I think they're picking like 3.
Okay, so under. We're going under.
Yeah, let's go under. Especially if you can get if you can get an under 4.5 on any book out there, I suggest taking out the mortgage. There's no way that team wins 5 games. They may win 3, 4. They're not winning 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to the
Niners.
Stink.
Yeah, big stink.
Stinky.
Why don't you read your thoughts for the Niners and the Seahawks? Since they have the same win total, we can kind of just put them a little bit of a head-to-head and look at 2 at the same time.
Because if you couldn't tell by the disgusted face I made as you read out the fact that the Niners and the Seahawks had the same line, I have a lot of thoughts on the Niners, and that was the one that immediately stuck out to me. But the thoughts I put down for the Niners were injury, stinky vibes team, very 8-9 or 9-8 feeling, stribbling insane hype. It seems like they wasted a healthy CMC year last year. Were the thoughts that I had on the Niners, because CMC, Christian McCaffrey, you may know who he is. He played all 17 games last season in essentially like, Anthony Davis having a Mikal Bridges type year. Like imagine if Anthony Davis played 82 games. That's essentially what CMC did. The man made of glass. And I feel like that was a waste because while the Niners did have a better regular season than I expected, it didn't really amount to anything besides a fun little playoff win there, as Tommy very well knows.
Yes,
but
yeah, tough loss.
Yeah, I mean, going into the vibes have just been awful. You bring in Mike Evans to be a top guy when he's in season 10, 11 at age like 34, 35.
Old.
He's had plenty of injury questions going into the year. You bring in Deebo Samuel.
Deebo too.
It's not like he was lighting up 4.3 track speed anymore. And then behind him you have they lose Jawan Jennings. And then behind him you have Deshaun Stribling, who I wrote down as one of the guys.
Pearsall's out too, isn't he?
What'd you say?
Pearsall's out.
Oh yeah, and I mean I forgot to mention Pearsall because he's pretty easy to forget when he's never on the field in the first place. And then even a guy like Stribling, who's gotten massive hype, essentially from what I've seen, the Emeka Egbuka hype campaign for this season of what Emeka was last year. But he's now injured, and he has a bunch of questions, and that's popped up within the last week or so. And so when you combine that with CMC is healthy, how much can you trust him? And just the overall stink poop vibes, I cannot believe their win total is 10.5. I don't know what y'all think. I want to hear your thoughts, but I cannot believe that is their total.
Yeah. I mean, I think you summed it up pretty well in terms of the injuries is like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of the 49ers over the last handful of years. You always hope that CMC is healthy just because he's such a fun player to watch. And a fully healthy CMC is top 10, top 5 player in the league.
At this stage,
maybe.
I would go top 7.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously he's so much fun to watch, and I'm not exactly a big fan of the Niners just due to, like, the recent past. Yeah. But I can't, for the life of me, see a situation where they're tied in their win total with the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. I think that team, they lost a couple people, the Seahawks did, but I just think that they brought back the right guys that made an impact in that Super Bowl run, and I think for that reason, I think the Niners could. I mean, I was expecting to see an 8.5 or a 9.5, and then I did think the Rams would have a higher win total.
Seems right.
Yeah, so just drop them down, have a 9.5 Niners, 10.5 Seahawks is fine, and then 11.5 Rams. I mean, that team.
I mean, the fact that they are listed one less win total number below the Rams, who are like plus 600 to win the Super Bowl, like is genuinely asinine to me.
Yeah, I don't know if this offense will be good enough to protect how many times their defense is going to be exposed by how good the other offenses are in this division. Mm-hmm. Like, you have the Seahawks and the Rams, who have maybe the two best offenses in the NFL going against you at least 2 times per season. That's going to be tough to even hold your own, and then you got to verse so many other teams in the NFC. It's going to be a really tough road for them.
Like, I mean, even if you split with them, that's auto 2
and that's
losses.
Generous.
Yeah, that is generous.
I'd say 1-3. I think 0-4 is pretty possible between those 4 games.
So I mean, just think about that line too. How many games? You're 10-8 now. 10-7. 10-7 would be what it is. So what? That's say 1-3.
So many games.
You can only lose 4 more games before.
And a team relying so badly on their key players. If one of those guys goes down, it seems like it's like a Jenga puzzle. Like if one goes down, it's like the tower starting to fall, and like if you knock out another one, it's like that thing's coming down.
They're giving them a nice kick in the nuts too, because they open the year playing the Rams on the road. That's their first game.
That's tough.
They give them 2 easy games after that. They get to play both the Dolphins and the Cardinals at home, so that's 2-1. Then you have to go play the Broncos, then the Seahawks.
Loss.
Then that's the thing. They keep giving them then they get to play the Falcons and the Raiders.
Yeah, Bo Nix is good to go, or will be.
Like, I mean, there's some winnable games on here. Like, then the back half of the season is a brute. They end the season by playing Rams, Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles are their final 4 games.
They could go 0-4 there too.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a tough stretch to make those playoffs, man. They're gonna be.
That is
yeah.
rough.
I mean, I don't think like, and I think a lot of it goes back to last year. Like, you have to credit, and there's a reason why Shanahan was getting genuine MVP talks for what was overall a mid team that happened to go 12-5. Is what they did in 2025. He probably deserved them because that team should have been nowhere near 12 wins. He scrapped together a defense. He scrapped together that offense. Mac Jones was able to go like 6-2 when Purdy was out or whatever he did. And so it's honestly a miracle they got to that number, and it just feels like they're going to have the same voodoo vibes. And I don't know if you can get more of a sign or a message going into this year than Shanahan getting in a literal car crash in the offseason. Like, to me, of the one person who, in my opinion, saved their season last year, I don't see it this year. I think I'd be looking at an alternate unders market. I would go as far to say under 7.5, under 6.5, whatever you could get that at.
Okay.
If you could find that at plus 300, that's I just do not see it.
I think you can get
team.
under 6.5 at way higher than 300.
Yeah,
I think you can.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes they put horrible prices on this shit, but whatever it is, lock me down for my hot take of this podcast.
Okay.
Niners under 6.5 wins. Major.
So let's roll through the NFC West here real quick. Maybe some quick thoughts.
I'm gonna give them
on
9 and 8
on the Rams. I would say stink on the win total for the Niners.
I'm going under 9 and 8.
Yeah, we've spent too much time talking about the dog shit teams.
I would say probably that line for the Seahawks is pretty good. I'll probably say 11 or 12 wins for them. So I'd probably swim on that total. And then, I mean, the Rams are just...
The Rams could win 15 games.
They could easily... 11.5 is probably low for
this
them.
Is a terrifying team that's going to get Aaron Donald back.
This is a sussy Baca line, is what I'll say. 11.5 is so weird because
it is low.
Like, it feels like, how does that team, other than a Matthew Stafford injury, and even if Matthew Stafford gets injured, what we've seen from Ty Simpson and Stetson Bennett in the preseason is like, shit, with how good the rest of the team is, maybe they probably still could win some games even if Stafford did go down with an injury.
Yeah.
Odell looks pretty good.
Odell?
He's looking pretty good.
Giants legend.
He's on the Giants.
He's on the Giants, bro.
Dude, it was hilarious watching. He ran like a 5-yard out route and caught a ball like with zero separation, and they were like, 2026 Odell is back. Or something like that. It's like, dude, come on.
He's back.
They're trying to hype.
Speaking of the Giants, let's rip the bottom two teams here for the Commanders and the Giants. Both have 7.5 projected win total. Oh, are we swimming 11.5 for the Rams? We're swimming.
Yeah,
we're going up.
I'm going over. Jackson's a little sus, but I think
I'm still swimming. I'm still swimming.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
I was convinced by the preseason from how good their backup quarterbacks played, because my whole argument was that Stafford could get hurt and they suck, but even if he gets hurt, they'll be fine.
I think once they confirm that Aaron Donald's back, that total is going to jump to 12.5.
If Puka can if they can just make Puka stay off of any streams for the year, they'll be chilling. Just no streaming for Puka.
No streaming.
Every time Puka did something controversial on a stream, he literally had like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That is true. Maybe more streams, dude.
Every time he went fucking stupid. Every time he insulted Jewish people or did something anti-Semitic or was racist or something, the next game, he walked out with like demon eyes and just like kept on. They were like trying to hurt him out there. He had like 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was like, I remember it was the first game of the playoffs, or maybe it was like the last game of the regular season. It was the fantasy football like finale.
Week
Everyone, it was like
17.
I don't know. Puka did some retarded shit.
Yeah.
And like the next game, people were like, "Dude, he's gonna be suspended. Like they're gonna suspend him for a game." I was saying that, and he comes out. He had like 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just fucked it. It was a Thursday night football game too.
It was the game against the Seahawks.
Yeah, and it's like immediately whoever was versing Puka in the finals lost.
Show was promised to him.
Yeah,
it was.
Or he took that promise away from them.
Yeah, now they're taking
He
away.
took it
But
for
yeah,
his
just
own.
get them on like an Aiden Ross stream before every game, and they're chilling.
Yeah. All right. Commanders Giants 7.5 over under. That is both their win totals. These
That's
teams
fair.
are the NFC East is a 2-team race. I don't think that the Giants or the Commanders have a chance. I like the Giants' defense. The Giants' offense is going to be pretty terrible. The Commanders are just the most the definition of just like you'd be having like a conversation with a group of friends and you're all like tight knit and there's just somebody over here. And like that's the Commanders. Like they're just over here. Like they're there. They
then,
have
like,
some okay players.
Right here is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, then
Then
he's right. He's like got his arm around him. Like
Just a little bit further back. Take a couple steps more back, Brandon.
yeah.
He's just
So,
like a
I don't
little bit
know.
out of the frame, but you can kind of
Yeah.
see him.
Commanders, Giants are probably a 7 under 500, 7 to 8 win teams. So that line again, I think is good at 7.5. I would like. I don't know, man. Like
the
the
Giants
Commanders
are terrible. Giants,
Yeah.
they're sinking. They are not swimming. They're stinking and sinking. Poo all in the water. There's brown out. Jackson Dart is not actually good. He played a couple good games last year. He's not a good quarterback. This team is not good.
So
And Cam Scatterbo is going to do something so dumb, and he's going to break his leg. He's not even that good. Najee Harris, I think, was he the one that just got signed by them? He's actually pretty good. He might be able to help as a workhorse back, but he's the most boring player in the NFL.
Oh, true.
Najee Harris has never had an exciting season. He is the biggest snore fest of all time. So nothing crazy is going to happen. Poor Malik Neighbors ruining his potential and talent on that team.
Okay.
So-
I feel bad for him.
my thoughts is it's interesting that both lines are 7.5. So the Giants won 4 games last year. The Commanders won 5. So they're saying that they're basically saying that a healthy Neighbors, potentially healthy Scatterbo, and John Harbaugh is worth 4 extra wins. Is worth them going from a 4-win team to an 8-win team. I think both those teams are pretty popular picks to kind of make jumps. Especially the Giants once they signed Harbaugh. It's died down a little bit, but I just feel like that's a crapshoot. I feel like one of those teams is actually going to win 8 or 9 games, and the other one's going to suck again. I like the Giants more than the Commanders. The Commanders I feel like the Commanders do win 7 games with a healthy Daniels season. Obviously, if he's not healthy again, that team's going to suck ass again. And I don't know, they're just so mid everywhere outside of, Daniels and McLaurin. Their running back room still stinks. Regardless, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to talk about the Commanders. I don't think there's more of a boring team in the NFL. I'm surprised they didn't sign Najee Harris. He'd be a perfect fit for him.
Yeah,
He
he
would.
would.
The Giants, interesting. I don't know. I think Dart or Harbaugh will be good for Dart. Maybe make him grow up a little bit. Scatterbo grow up a little bit. It's just good things in the Giants don't mix again. So I don't know. I feel like they both win 7 games and go under. I think they're both close, but don't get there.
So Cal, I agree. I would barely stink. Like there's a little whiff.
Yeah.
Of the 7.5.
They're both stinking. One
Yeah.
of them's
Barely.
Just
Like
Just
fish in the
barely.
trash can, but it's only been there for like 3 days. It's not
Yeah.
horrible stink yet.
Yeah.
What's in the trash can?
3-day
Fish.
fish sounds way worse than a little
3-day
stink.
fish in the trash can.
Maybe like
is
3-hour
fucking
fish.
disgusting.
Okay, never mind. That
Okay.
That could be a
what
little
happens
stink, I guess.
In Jackson's trash can.
we have different stink
If that tells
standards.
you anything.
Yeah, if that does tell you
The
anything about
Cowboys
my
are
living.
8.5 to 9.5, depending on the books, and then I'll throw in the Eagles are 10.5. I'm not going to
I
give
like
my
the
opinion
Cowboys.
on the Eagles. Obviously, I would go over and swim, and I think Sean Mannion proceeds to give his opinion about the Eagles. I think Sean Mannion's offense is going to be really good. I think AJ's departure will be felt, but not felt as much as people think it's going to be. I've heard really good things about Smitty, obviously, about Dontavion Wicks,
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown, of course, dude, legendary wide receiver for.
I'm bullish.
Mekhi
I'm
Lemon's
bullish on
healthy.
Saquon this year in fantasy.
Yeah.
Fantasy. I think he has.
Yeah.
He can't be as bad as he was last year. Not as
So,
bad,
I-
but as disappointing, I guess.
And the
Yeah.
Cowboys, I would say, the 8.5 to 9.5. Which one do you guys want to go off of?
9.
That
We'll
would
do
be
nine.
the question.
We'll
Do
do
9.5.
Yeah.
No, just 9. 9 in the middle.
Just 9.
Split it down the middle.
I mean,
You're not
could
gonna
see
like
them
what I have
getting
to
to
say
10
here.
and be
I
like a
really
wild
like the
card.
Cowboys this year. Too.
I really
think
like
we
the
could
Cowboys
11,
too.
11,
I think
12 games.
I think they win that division.
Why?
I'm not gonna lie.
People have been sleeping on. They're saying Pickens is going to have a down year this year. I think Pickens is going to get even better. He overperformed last year, but I think he really showed who he really was with a decent quarterback throwing to him. He is a good player. CeeDee Lamb frees him up. They can't guard both of them with full coverage.
Yeah. That was with a disappointing CD year last year. Like CD was just okay. I know he had some injury stuff too, but
CD's a top 5 receiver in this league, if not top 3. He's so slippery, he's so good.
Well,
and Pickens could be easily a top 10, top 15 guy. I mean, he certainly was last year.
And the biggest thing for the Bengals of the NFC, is obviously going to be their defense. We know, just like the Bengals, the offense is there. It's just like having Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, having Dak, Pickens, and CD. The offense is going to be fine. And Javonte was pretty good last year at running back as well for him. It's just, is their defense going to hemorrhage points or not? And I think that some of the moves, while crazy in the moment last year, obviously the Micah trade, the trade for Kenny Williams as well, were crazy trades in the moment. But I do think that some of those moves, Logan Wilson at linebacker as well, are going to start to pay some dividends. I think that even if, because they were probably 30th ranked in defense last year, even if they can make
it can't get much worse.
Yeah,
it can't
if they
get
can
much
even
worse
jump
than
up
how
to
bad they were.
15th to 20th while having, the top 6 offense that they had last year, I think that's good enough to win 11 games in that division. I think
my thing is it can't get much worse.
No.
But how is it going to get better? Right?
Yeah.
Von Miller's not going to do anything. Rashawn Gary was a good trade, I guess, but I don't think they what is their depth chart on the back end? Their corners and their safeties. And obviously Caleb Downs is a great pick, 100%.
They're going to be a good run defense, in my opinion.
I'm betting off gut feeling here. I'm betting that.
No, it's fair. It's fair. I understand that the Cowboys are hyped, and obviously I'm not going to like it because I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the Eagles are easily hitting 10.5 too. I think both of these teams are going to duke it out for winning the division. So it's a 2-horse race.
Such a good team.
I would say it's 50-50. I would agree with you there.
Towards the quarterback in Philadelphia, I think
as do most people.
We can save that for another pod where maybe we go more in depth specifically about our teams. But I think we both have some thoughts. All 3 of us have thoughts that differ on Hurts and the rest of the Eagles. But I'm also a hater, so I can't. Everything I say comes with a spoonful of bias.
Very much.
We can get into that.
Yeah.
Another time.
Again, that's an hour-long podcast in itself. The Jalen Hurts debate.
Todd, you got the NFC North. We'll give it a little quick one since we're over an hour here.
I'll try to make it quick.
Win totals at the bottom: Minnesota Vikings 8.5, Chicago Bears 9.5, Packers 9.5 to 10.5, Lions 10.5.
Oh my God!
I think.
JJ and Kyler winning 9 games. Yeah, right, dude. Break my arm. That's not happening.
I don't think we need to talk about that one.
I think the Vikings could start a couple wins off the start. I think Kyler could get hot, but then he's not going to be too good for too long. People will figure him out, and he's not going to be. The Vikings are not a good team. They're kind of a joke.
JJ McCarthy and Kyler.
Poor Justin Jefferson.
That's a ridiculous. I know they won. I think they won 9 games last year, despite the awful quarterback play, and they had Brosmer start for 4 games. Yeah. I don't know. KOC he's a good coach. That they have a good defense. I don't know. You can only just blitz for so long and just blitz. Eventually, the league is going to figure out a little bit on defense, pop you over the back end.
And they lost Jonathan Grenard too. One of their better defensive.
I don't know. I don't even think. I think that's a team where you can. Sometimes you can overanalyze teams. You can underanalyze teams. I think the Vikings are a team where you just look at the quarterback situation. You look at the fact that they somehow scrapped and overachieved last year. And you just look at that line this year, 8.5, and you say, "Come on, dude!" I just do not see it, especially in what's going to be a tough and competitive division.
Well, let's look at the next team. Todd, I didn't give much thought about the Eagles.
Yeah,
so
I'll quickly go over the Bears. I'll just be like, it's time for Caleb to put up or shut up. If they want to be a successful team, it relies pretty much entirely on his shoulders. He's the face of man. If he wants to be the face of the league, this is the time to show it. This year, you have everyone watching you. Go out and perform. If you don't, you know, he seems like one of the players in the league where, like, whichever way he performs is how much people are going to react, like, exponentially. Like, if he plays a bad game, people react a lot. If he has a good game, people see what he can do. So it relies on him. The defense is not very good. We have the hardest, or at least top 3 most difficult schedule in the NFL.
He's a polarizing player.
Yeah, very, very.
It's kind of sad. He reminds me a lot of another Chicago player that's a very polarizing player, where he should be one of the most beloved and most watched and liked players, and that would be PCA, who gets hate for actually no reason when he's one of the most exciting players to watch. And I feel very similar about Caleb. I get it.
Polarizing players is so fun on your team, though.
Yeah,
it is. Like a little footnote as well. Like Jalen Hurts is polarizing, and I think
Drake
that's
May
fun
is
to
as
defend.
well.
Drake May is polarizing.
We all have
Jalen
polarizing
Carter,
QBs.
obviously, because of he's not a great
Drake
person.
May polarizing?
I wouldn't say Drake May is. I mean, not as much as the other people we've talked about.
Drake, the schedule may. I mean, you know, he's not as much.
But that's like a Patriots polarizing.
I think we got to see one more season out of him. He's got to be polarizing is someone that makes headlines. Drake May is kind of a guy that
out of the 3 quarterbacks in this chat room right now, he is number 3 in the polarizing list, and it's not close.
I would agree. I would say, but I would also say that the 3 most polarizing QBs in the league are Hurts, Caleb, and May. We just happen to have them on our teams.
Okay. All right.
I'll
give you
maybe Herbert.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways,
we're
stinking the 8.5 on the Vikings.
I would say
we're all swimming.
10 and 7 for me.
Okay, we're swimming on 9.5, just barely.
I'll go 11 on the Bears.
Okay.
Packers, I think, will probably have the same exact record. They're such a sneaky, annoying team because
that puts them over their win total, though.
Yeah, I think they're 10 and 7.
What's their win total?
Oh, well, that actually it said 9.5 to 10.5. So if we're looking at 10 wins as like their win total, that technically pushes. But
it feels like they were the team that a lot of people were projecting, you know, and I like them too, were like the team that was going to make a jump up to that, you know, NFC championship game.
Yeah, people thought that.
And maybe this is kind of a post-hype year. They were getting a lot of hype going into last season, so maybe it happens this year. I think they win like 12 games.
Okay. Yeah, and then I think the Lions are another team that is an interesting one.
Too much hype.
And I think
I would agree.
Everyone before the season is saying like the Lions bounce back here.
Heard that nonstop.
I think the era is over. You lost your key player, and it was your coach.
They remind me a lot of
offensive.
They remind me a lot of the Orioles of the NFL, where it's like they had this young core, they had this really bright, hot start right out of the gate when all Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson all came up, and now look at where they are now. It's fizzled out, it's gone. I think the Lions are kind of on a similar trajectory.
They have good players. They got Gibbs, who's scary. Goff is obviously a good.
Amon-Ra's a dog. J-Mo's a dog.
Yeah.
They have defensive players that are good.
These guys are fantasy football players. They're not national football players. Like they're not. These guys are. They're good on paper.
It's not a poor man's. It's like a rich man's Buccaneers. Like if the Buccaneers are Target, then they're Trader Joe's. Like they're good for fantasy. They're good in the regular season. Like I don't think they're built to compete far beyond that.
So
we're stinking on the win total. 11.
What is it? Are they 9.5 Lions?
I think it was
11.5. They have the same win total as
10.5. Sorry,
Angeles
10.5.
Oh.
It's 10.5.
Under that's a 9-win team.
I would say it's a 9-10 team.
That division is going to be so damn close.
That makes it harder for all the totals as well because it's gonna every game is competitive. Each team could go technically 3-3 against their division.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
It's such an annoying league to be in. But it's so fun.
Well, 4-2, everyone's going to sweep the Vikings.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. The Vikings
especially if JJ's getting
started. They'll get some. They'll get some.
I don't think the Vikings are as bad as Jackson was making it out to be. I'm not completely writing them off. I think they could still prove their defense is always just like good. Like the defense it's a good defense. They still have Justin Jefferson.
I mean,
He
you're
should-
the
I
NFC
mean-
North connoisseur, so
I don't know who the running back is.
We'll get into in a future episode. We'll get more.
Aaron
into,
Jones.
Yeah.
See their RB1, old ass Aaron Jones.
Aaron
He's gonna be
Jones
walking on
and
crutches.
Jordan Mason.
Yeah, dude. Stacked
Dude,
running back.
still
room.
That's a fucking bummy running.
Yeah, dude.
Let me
They're
see.
winning 9 games for sure.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Damon Claiborne, and Xavier Scott are the 4.
Damn, do they got anyone below the age of 30?
Keep an eye on Damon Claiborne though. Sleeper.
Yeah, I
He's on my
have heard
taxi
some.
squad.
I have heard some interesting things about him.
Yeah.
They have Naylor and
Naylor,
We'll get into
Addison,
on a
Jettas.
future episode. We'll
I
get
gotta
into
go
some
for sure.
players in fantasy. And Jettis just feels like a no-brainer for regardless of how bad that team is or not is. I feel like Jettis just naturally has to bounce back and have a better year from what he had last year.
All right. Well, a little preview. We obviously
Yeah.
went through 3 divisions because there's 3 of us. Maybe we'll
What's the
pick
one we
3
forgot?
more next week.
We forgot the.
I mean, out of the NFC, the South, which technically we
Well-
touched on saying it was super close, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be like an NFC North, but they're all dog shit type of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I'm from Charlotte, and I can't even. It's hard to even root for the Panthers. Like I'm rooting for Tyler Shuck.
Yeah. So we'll maybe we'll touch on the AFC next episode, but we got a new outro as well. So
Dang.
check that out here.
I know.
But hopefully we'll catch you guys next week, and it's been fun, boys.
Yeah.
Later.
Preach.
farewell.
Peace.